Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. Again, always just let me know if the music is alright or if it needs to be turned down a little bit. So we're going to kind of get into the things today. Remember yesterday we were looking for this low to get hit. Unfortunately, we were not able to. We got stopped out before it could trade down here, but just having the ability to understand where price is more likely to go, that's something that I'm very proud about, being able to do that. So today, kind of getting what we're looking for. I think again we'll see a little bit lower prices. I think that's what we're going to be aiming for today. Maybe we can get another rundown here or just even trade a little bit deeper. We did trade up into this. I'm going to note this daily order block here. We traded up into it again yesterday and then we fell short here. We also have SMT, which I'll show a little bit later. We had this, daily fair value gap that we traded up into and then traded lower. And again, look for an order block to then trade lower. So I think we should still get some downside. I will be a little bit cautious of this wick. I'm going to actually note this. So I do know where that is. I have another screen, but I just want to make sure I know exactly where that is because that could be a downside target that we could be looking for. So I'm going to take that off. And that's the wick. So that's pretty much... I don't know why it's not showing up on my other one, but so we have that there. We're gonna go back out and look at the hourly chart. Oh, now it's showing up on the other one. So this is where we could potentially see price come down and trade to. We hit up this daily order block. We're gonna go to the SMT chart so you can kind of see. So we have SMT here. You see how NASDAQ was able to trade up a little bit higher where ES was not able to. So we're going to look to see if we can trade a little bit softer, maybe go down below this low, but definitely see if we can attack this wick, which is about the 20,237 and a half. That's where target we could be looking for. So we're going to go to this chart is what I added in here, and I'll explain what this is. So if I'm in a trade in NQ, I want to see exactly what ES is doing at the same time. That's essentially what this is. So if I'm in a trade, I can look and pretty much see what's happening. It gives me better or X-ray view. That's kind of what I call it over there. We don't necessarily have right now any waiting period right now because this is the high end of it and price is below it. So if it comes anywhere up to in between here, we're gonna have to wait until 10 o'clock. We know that we have ISM. I think again. Let me just check. So you have ISM. Services PMI at 10 a.m. and we already had the ADP at 8:15, which is this candle right here. So we don't have any reason to wait right now until 10 o'clock until pretty much we get closer to the open. We'll know kind of what we'll have to do there. So that's kind of what that's for. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. So what I marked out was this daily order block. Here we had SMT inside and trading up into a daily order block, so I like that. We have this hourly fair value gap. Let's just go to the hourly chart. So oops, let's go to the hourly chart here so we can just see it a little bit better, and I'll zoom in. So this fair value gap here overlaps with the daily order block. See how the candles as of right now they've been holding. So that's something that we do like. Look at the bodies. The wick goes above, that's fine, but the bodies are telling the story. They stayed below. So I noted this order block here. These two up close candles are a bearish order block. We also have the new day opening gap right here that overlaps with this fair value gap. So maybe we could see us trade up into here and then trade softer down here. Or if we create a fair value gap here, which would have to happen in the next 46 minutes, which would be right at the 10 o'clock candle, is if we create a fair value gap here, we may use this as a breaker with this wick extended over. We could use that to trade softer. So it all depends on kind of what type of price action we're getting and what are we respecting at the time or slightly before there is news. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at today for us to kind of get into that. So again, looking for lower prices, just that we have the SMT. We're seeing the respect from higher time frame. So that's what we're going to expect in our trade today. Target down here, and that's kind of the business of what we have going on for today. Yeah, so tomorrow I will not be trading. I'll be taking off because it's the day before NFP, so I just like to relax on those days. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have, and then I'll be looking to trade Friday as well. But just what we have for today, that's it. We have these clean highs up here. Look how clean these highs look. So I would like to see us come up here and then reject and fail, make it create a breaker setup or something up here, and then look to trade down there. That's would be my goal. Anybody have any questions that we can kind of go over today, right now? Because we have about 15 minutes until the market opens, so I'm pretty much free until that point. If anyone has any questions or wants me to go over anything, and again, as I always say, if there's anything that you don't understand when I say it and need me to go over it, just let me know in the chat, because I can read that and I can see it, and that'll help me be able to just explain it a little bit better so that you understand what I'm talking about or where I'm pointing at. You know, sometimes I do talk without pointing, and I just want to make sure that you're able to understand what I'm trying to articulate or what I'm doing or what I'm looking for. Ideally, I don't use this as much. I want to see something like this. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. Something like this, because we have equal highs here. Fair value gap, reject, come back, create a fair value gap up here, and then trade lower, take out this low, this one, and we may get down to this one. Who knows? But this is a clear low. Yeah, so I'm on my TradeAvade account. Yesterday I made $11.76. You know, we were looking to take a trade. I guess we can kind of go back over it. It should still be up here. Why is it not on here? The trade was down here off of this. I'm not actually sure why it's not there. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not there, but yeah, I'm not sure. The trade was right here. I took it off of this order block. When we failed to get up here, I saw this wick and we traded below this. Like the close, I took it here, and I ended up getting stopped out on this candle and profit, and then it went down lower to where we were looking for, which was this low, or the high of this fair value gap. That's where I was looking for price to trade down to. And it just had stopped us out before kind of doing that. It is what it is. That's what happens in trading. But I'm actually really not sure why it's not there. Why you can't see the trade there. Because I took it there yesterday. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, that's what we're looking for today. Remember, this is a 5-minute fair value gap. If it's unable to get up here, it comes here and rejects. That's showing a lot more weakness. If it can trade up into here and then reject, and that means it's not going to come up here, at least not yet. So we'll see. We'll see kind of what we're going to get. Let me just note the level also that I'm looking for. That's a little bit lower, in case we get that. So it's. I just want to put this down here and make sure it's a different color too. I'll make it like blue. Nah, I don't want that color. Purple. So this is the wick that I'm outlining that was on the daily chart. Remember I was talking about that. So it's at 2237. Okay. So this is the wick on the daily chart. I just want to make sure I have it. Wick. I'll do that. Let's go like this. So this is what we're looking for in terms of a downside objective. It's over here. So let's see if we can at least get down to there. And I just want to have that on there because that's an area where it could bounce from. So I don't want to that to not be on my charts where like I could be looking for lower, or even if I can get somewhere close to here. Again, this is enough, way more than enough range to be looking for a downside objective. So we have 10 minutes until the market opens. I don't think we have any thing I have to wait for. Pretty close to it though. Again, something, if we're less than, I'm gonna say 49, and so we're anything less than this in range, I'm gonna have to wait until 10 o'clock. That's the rules, and if anything happens, it happens, and that's okay. But that's my rules. So anything less than that, I can't do anything. It saves me from taking bad trades. It saves me from getting chopped up, and it may look like we end up waiting till 10 o'clock, which is fine, you know. But that's the rules. That's what we're looking for today. As long as we can get past this in the open, then I'm available to do something. But until then, nothing can be done. So yeah, we'll know that as we get closer to market open. So again, this is a new chart, not this. Let me just zoom in a little bit closer to this so you can see. We know we have SMT to the upside, but this chart is a new chart where I like to see what is actually going on in terms of ES. At the same time, are we getting similar things in the chart that help me come with the conclusion that we should be looking for? Yeah, I don't like it on this one. It kind of just gives me a x-ray view. So that's what this chart is for. So we have this gap here again. Don't really want to see it hold. I don't think we had any SMT there. No. We did have SMT here. You see this high there, this same high there went above. But again, nothing of importance for me right now. That yeah, it doesn't really show anything to me right now. I need to go get some water. I'll be right back. I'm back. I am back. So again, you know, we're looking for downside. We're going to see if that's what we're able to get. We did hit this rejection block on the 15-minute chart. Again, a rejection block is the lowest down close candle in a swing. So I'll just note it so you guys can see it. That's the rejection block. This purple, this higher purple line. That's what that is with this wick. You take the body. Remember I was telling how the bodies the bodies are tell the story. The wicks do the damage. So again, look at the bodies again. They're unable to close down here. But again, we start looking for lower prices. I'd like to see us trade up first. But again, the closer we are to yesterday's closing price, the more we'll have to wait, and that's okay. So this is, again, anything less than 49 and pretty much a half, or 49.75 there. So if it's up closer to here at 9:30, we can't do anything until 10 o'clock. What I'm expecting is chop. It doesn't mean that we're going to get chop. That's just my expectation. So yeah, I just don't want to be cutting it close. And if it's iffy for me, I'm just like, I'd rather wait, then I'm going to wait. I'm always going to end up choosing caution than trying to be very aggressive with this. Again, it's all about capital preservation, not just trying to run my capital into the ground. So that is the business right now. So the closer we get up here, with 3 minutes left, most likely, just looking at kind of how things are playing out, I do this so it's a reminder to myself that I can't take a trade till after 10. The closer we start getting up to here, I'll just wait. And even if it comes up here and it goes down there, congrats. Like, that's how I would look at it. You know, I was able to do that, but not really anything that's too exciting if we start to come closer up to there. So, yep. Again, we have SMT right here into a daily level. So, looking for lower prices here. I think on the hourly chart, I wonder what we did. Yeah, did we close the gap in? Yes, we have immediate rebalance right here on the hourly chart. So remember, I was talking about if we left a fair value gap, which is a fair value gap is something like this. See, it's excitement. So when I say I'm always waiting for excitement, that's what I'm waiting for. So we had closed that up immediately. So there's no gap here. There will be no gap here to trade up into at 10. So we could see us just, you know, target down here, especially this low. So that's what I am looking for. So we have about 40 seconds until the market opens. So it's not looking like we'll have a time stop because we're more than 49, ideally 50, but I've taken trades that had 49.75, so that's why I'm okay with that. But so anything below that, we're good. Maybe about a little less than 20 seconds, and as long as we don't just gap up here or something, we're able to take a trade before 10. So that's what it's looking like right now with 6 seconds left. So yeah, so we're good. We're good on in terms of when we can take a trade. This thing did this yesterday too. I don't know why it does that. So we're good with here. We have enough range. It's perfect. Again, I'm not in a rush to take a trade, so we have time. 51.25. So you see this is 60, so we're good. So this can pretty much go off because I have this other chart fine. So this is where we are right now. So this is no longer valid. Don't need that. So what we want to see now is overlapping of PD rays, right? We want to see on the 5-minute chart overlap with the 50-minute chart, which overlaps with the 1-minute chart. And then we always look for the first presented fair value gap. So this is the first presented fair value gap. This helps us give an idea or indication of what we could be looking for in terms of direction. Initially, as I'm looking at this, you see how we're kind of getting something similar to yesterday. How we're not really running in a single direction, we're kind of just holding. So again, just always looking to identify what type of market condition am I getting right now. I'm just observing. I'm not trying to predict. That's like, what am I actually seeing? Not what do I want to see, but what's actually being shown. Again, I'm looking for lower prices, but I want to see it go up higher first, then go lower. That's what I want to see. So also let's kind of peek over here for a little bit. What are we getting in ES? Are we seeing this something similar? Are we seeing something opposing? We don't really have, we do have kind of SMT here. Look at that low in there. So you have a little bit of SMT here. This is on a 1-minute chart, so it's not necessarily too drastic, but we do have SMT there. So that's kind of important there. And again, I'm just looking at SMT on the higher time frame, where it looks like we're going to kind of take out this low on ES, on NQ. So this could potentially be the first presented fair value gap. We have to watch and kind of see what we're going to get. We'll see what we get here. Do we actually get a gap, or are we just going to close it? Nope, so we close it in, no gap. So have to be a lot more patient here, because you see we're closing up everything, overlapping everything. I would have preferred if we did not do that and then traded up into that. I would have taken a trade here, expecting us to take out this low. If we could have had, because we would have ran through, well, if it would have closed here on the 1-minute chart, on the 5-minute chart below this would be an inverse fair value gap, then I would have taken the trade, right? It needs to, I need to see things start to overlap. But the way this is looking, at least not right now, 10 o'clock is looking more favorable. Until I see something else, 10 o'clock is when we have the ISM numbers. That's looking a lot more favorable for us to look for a trade that's going to pan out versus trying to get in right now. It's just not, it's not clear yet right now. Not as clear as I would like. Hopefully we get something a little bit nicer than yesterday in terms of just price action, because yesterday was like a barcode heart attack looking like day. We did have a nice trade in the PM session up to the upside, like right here. I can kind of show you right here, and then this down there. If you look on the 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, everything overlaps there. Looks kind of nice. See, when I can figure out how I can do polls, I'm gonna start asking people in here. I'll put a poll in here, like, what do you guys think is gonna happen? I can't see who picks which, so you don't be afraid of getting something wrong or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just to see kind of what do you guys think. So once I figure that out, I'll be able to put the polls in here. But just right now, I don't know how to do it. Again, some of the people in here that are early birds, you know, that have been here from the beginning, you know, I'll have you guys be my mods later on when there are a lot more people in here, and then I can ask you to do that, so I don't have to do too much, you know. But yeah, right now look at the price action, right? Again, we always like doing this. I like to show you guys this. Again, look at, we have SMT here again, so we're getting a decoupled market. So I'm thinking that we're gonna start going a little bit lower here, again with the higher time from SMT. But I just want to show you this. We haven't done anything yet. Nothing yet. So we have this. I do like this. I want to see, I mean, I would rather us not just run down there, but that's what it's looking like we're going to get here. Just run straight down there, not give us a clean level, because if we would have had one, I would have taken a trade. We just didn't have anything clean, so can't do nothing about that. So right now we're inside of yesterday's first presented fair value gap. We actually hit the consequent encroachment of it, like right here. So if we can create a nice gap here and not just like literally either run too low here or also just kind of create something here, I would like that. I would prefer that. Looks like we would left this open and we have this right here. That's kind of what I would see. So just as long as we don't go straight down there, because I need to see, oops. Don't like that, that risk to reward right here. Let's see. As long as we don't hit that, I do like this. As long as we don't just, you know, hit that right away. So we did hit that now. I'm a little bit more cautious to get in this trade, but I do like it. It's just not worth hold on, I'm gonna wait for this actually. So what I'm gonna do is wait for this to form. If that can form there, I'm okay with taking this trade. So we have about a minute and 12 seconds left, so hopefully we don't just keep running, but that's what I'll be looking for. Remember, our ultimate target was down here, so we'll have to gauge to see what we can, how it's trading, but this is what I like. I would like this, but we have about 53 seconds left, and as long as we can do this, I'm willing to put this trade on and let it go. I'm probably gonna end up lowering this. I don't like that. I'll probably do 5. Yeah. So I want to see it close below. I don't just want to take it right there. This needs to create a fair value gap, because if not, I don't want to take that. Not willing to take that. And the reason why I'm not willing to take that is because I want to see it close below. This would be a order block, but what I'm looking at ES, right? I don't like what ES is doing. So ES is not showing the same weakness. So, and look, I'd be pretty much stopped out right away, right? So glad I did not take that, because the wick, right? Remember, I always do this. Remember when I said that the wicks do the damage, the bodies tell the story? I was not seeing the same thing on ES. So I don't just want to take a trade just because it's there, right? I need to see the same thing happening in the other one. And that's what we were not getting. We were not getting that. So I'm not just going to take it. just because it's there. So it looks like we're probably gonna go up a little bit higher. I want to see what we can create here. If we can create a gap here, but close above this candle, right? I want to see us close above this down close candle here. If we can do this, it may not give it to us, just so we know. I want to see us close above that candle with some strength, and if that's possible, then I would take, then I'll look for that to go a little bit higher. So it could be the Judas swing. Again, we have 3 minutes. I'm okay with waiting. I'm okay with missing out just in case it runs up here. I'm okay with that. That would happen, but you see how we hit this low, and look how this is a wick. This is how I'd always lose trades. I would say, okay, this is a breaker. We also have equal highs up here, but this is a breaker. And then we have this fair value gap. And then I'm waiting for the close. And like how the close didn't necessarily really show me, oh, we're ready to take off or we're ready to do this. It didn't necessarily show that. So I'm not just gonna take this trade just because it looks like a setup. I don't want that. So now for me is if we cannot like start trading up too fast, and we leave this here and we can trade down into this, which we may not be able to do. But if we can do that, I'd be willing to take this trade right here. That's what I'll be, and we have about 2 minutes. So like, I'm not in a rush. Not in a rush to get into the trade. I am looking to see what else is happening here. Again, if it comes down here first, that's also fine, but I'm not in a rush to get into a trade. So we have about 2 minutes left. Again, I'm looking at the close. I want to see what we do here. And yeah, that'll be like the trade setup. But it needs to go down there first. It can't be doing too much here. We have a minute into the 15-minute chart. Also closes above its down close candle. So that's what I would be looking for. Be a breaker there. As long as we don't kind of come up here first, I'd rather see if we can go down first and then trade higher. So I'm trying to get this out of the way. It's just in the way right now. So about 50 seconds left. And then I'd be willing to do something. But not before. You see where we're closing right now? I don't like that. Yeah, so this is not a trade for me right now. Okay. I'm gonna buy it. So if it can come down there, I'm gonna buy this and then look to see if it can take it up there. So if we can get that trade down into that gap, I'm believing that we can at least trade up to here and then look for that. That's what I'll look for. Again, if we miss it, we miss it. It is what it is. Again, the closer we start to get to 10 o'clock, if we haven't hit this yet, you know, I would kind of I would have to close the trade, because I wouldn't want to be in there right at the numbers. I would expect it to trade up a little bit higher, but we'll see. I don't like the way it actually closed on the 15-minute chart, if I'm being honest, but we're in this trade and we'll see what we get here. We'll see if just gonna run straight down or hit the first presented for value gap, and we'll kind of see what we get here. Not a fan of how deep it's obviously trading into this first presented for value gap, but we'll see. Looks like we might get stopped out pretty much immediately. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. So might have went just against my initial bias. It's possible. Just especially how deep that traded down into. I don't like that personally. So I don't think that this is probably going to win, in my opinion. Not saying it can't, but just the way that this is, the way that it just kind of is there, I don't see this necessarily winning. Just being completely honest. But it's possible. It's possible, but it just traded too deep down into that for me to really like this trade that much. But you know, it is what it is. I thought I put my stop loss at a place where I thought that it could be fine. Again, I'm not looking at again, was looking for this to kind of be a response to that, but it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that today. It looks like we're probably going to try to go below this low one more time. That's what it's looking like. Yep. So why do I have two of these dots? Okay, so yeah, I don't know if we got in a little bit too early. I don't know if we just got chopped up at this point. I did like this close. I believe that we could have been looking for a little bit higher prices, but I think that we might have just got faked out here, which is fine. Yeah, it's pretty much the only trade for today, so I can't take any more trades. I was expecting us to come here, show a little bit higher. I just think that I just might have had my stop maybe a little bit too close. I just didn't think that we would trade this deep, honestly, down into it. Could have got faked out just by looking at ES and NQ. You know, we're still the bodies, or at least in yesterday's first presented for value gap. There's no way I would have put my stop loss down here. No shot in any planet I would have put it down there. I'm not sure why there's two, because I only took one trade. Maybe they closed at different spots. So yeah, might have just got faked out, and then yeah, or it could just be waiting for the macro and just trade a little bit deeper. I do want to wait until 10 o'clock. I'm not going to take another trade because I lost pretty much today, so I can't take another one. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. The close on the 15-minute chart, I didn't necessarily like that much. I would have liked it better if it kind of closed above here, but I did like this one. But yeah, looks like, because I was looking at ES, let me just kind of show you. So when I saw ES close like this, I did like this, but as you can see, NQ did none of that. So pretty much didn't show any of that willingness to do anything there, and kind of just folded through. So again, could have had stop loss in the wrong area, but I would not have put my stop loss down here. Just might have had it too tight, but not down there. So not a lovely day. Got kind of chopped, it looks like, a little bit. Because even right now, I'm still favoring up here. Still favoring that. Yeah, because this had already closed through the gap. Like, it's not a bullish order block anymore. Not of something that's of any importance. But again, still favoring at least the upside a little bit. I just might have just traded too deep for what I was looking for. So we traded down to yesterday. Like, we're still inside yesterday's opening gap range. I just might have just traded too deep down into it and stopped me out before going up higher. Because I'm looking at ES right now. So you came and hit this order block here, but see how we're below here? So just looking at that. So this is showing some signature actually for us to go to the downside. It's showing a little bit of that. Right here you have this order block, but I want to see this hold and see if we can expand higher. If we run through this, then this is the signature for us to probably trade down there, where my initial thought process was it could be that. And we are trading a little bit sideways as a whole. Where is it? Is it this one? This one, sorry. So we're trading a little bit sideways. We did have a gap right there. No, we did. We had a really small one, not necessarily there. So this right here, honestly, for me, looks a little bit more favorable in terms of a trade setup. I mean, I can't take another one, but I'm just explaining to you that this right here, to me, now looks more favorable because of what we have on the 15-minute chart, also what we have on the 5-minute chart. Needs to create a gap though. This would be a 1-minute order block here, the 3 candles combined. And then we'd be looking for down here. We have 5 minutes until the whatchamacallit, the ISM numbers come out. It's looking pretty heavy right now, and trading up into this with the stop loss above here. So looking at it right now, that should have been their trade setup. We're getting a little bit of follow through with ES as well. So that right there would have been a better trade setup based off of what we see here now and the way that this didn't close. But I can only take one trade, so I can't take another one. But that's the better one. And it's based off of this signature right here that shows us that we're now being respected. We have this 5 minute order block there. We have this coupling with the 1 minute order block here. This is the wick of the daily chart, which I was talking about, and we just kind of got tricked out in terms of direction. I believe it should probably even target way down here. So again, just got tricked out early. It's unfortunate, it happens. But yeah, it took a loss today, a little bit heavier than I would have liked, but it is what it is. ES is now finally starting to trade a little bit softer, so we'll look for this to get hit and traded too at the time of news, preferably before. If you were inside of this trade, preferably I would like for it to hit before. But we might leave this gap here, and if we do, I like to see this get held and not trade any higher than that. That's what I would like to see. Like to see the bodies close down in there. I'm using the wick because the wick is also a gap, and we just hit this sell side liquidity there. So that's what I would like to see. There's about 2 minutes until 10 o'clock, so I'm just gonna wait pretty much until then. Like that close on the 5 minute chart, I don't like that at all actually. But we're trading up into this. We're trading up into yesterday's new opening range gap low. That couples with this order block here. But again, see, now we'd be back up to entry. That's obviously not ideal. Especially like, I don't know, 30 seconds before the news drops. So that to me is a little bit concerning. So we hit yesterday's first presented fair value gap right now. So we'll see that if we're going to get a response from there. We have 16 seconds left. I would ideally not feel very comfortable with it being all the way up there. Even with entering right here and then it being there, I would not feel very comfortable. Just, it came right back up to entry. It's allowed to do that, but I don't like that. This response I like, but I'd want to see it shoot down immediately. See, I would have been stopped out there too. So had the right. Yeah, it just went down one more time. So we hit this 5 minute here. Just might have just got caught up before the news. And then based on what happens here, again, I was looking for this hourly gap up here. That's where I was looking for to take price to. Yeah, on this chart, you saw it kind of lag and delay and then shoot up. I could see it on the other ones. So we hit this 5-minute gap, which was here. Again, I'm watching just the wicks and the bodies. This has been one of the tougher weeks for me, I'm not gonna lie. You know, didn't start it off the week great in terms of, you know, I had an opportunity, I saw it, and I had it too high. And that kind of got to me. This didn't get to me today. This is fine. I just think that expecting for it to come up there, at least here, but then also hit up there. I didn't get that. What my thought process is right now, I think we're just gonna run through this. I think it just kind of stopped right up here. I still think that we're gonna probably go down here, but we'll see with this, because I am really eyeing this candle. It doesn't overlap with anything. That's why I would not feel as comfortable taking it. But I do like this candle because it technically would be a breaker. And then we could look for all the way up here. And then even, yeah, no. I'm thinking maybe up here. But yeah, been a tough week. Been a very tough week. It's probably been the choppiest week since I started trading this year. But yeah, this is what I like here. We could potentially get another run here and then up there. I'm not a fan that it doesn't necessarily overlap with a lot over here, even though I do see this and how exciting this was. This is right at 10 o'clock, and it looks as of right now that we're potentially holding it where the bodies are. Not really getting a lot of support in the other ones yet, but we may end up trying to reach up here, and then ultimately where my initial target was, right there. We do have a lot of clean levels, like right here. Literally the new day opening gap is there from yesterday. This is where I think we're most likely going to be headed to. We can pump up to here. So a trade from here up to there would be in alignment with what I was looking for with this trade. It's just we got stopped out before the news. Yes, thank you, yeah. Tough weeks happen. This is the first time I've had like an actual tough week with trading. Every other week has been flawless, pretty much. But yeah, next trade will be on Friday. So we'll see if we can, you know, recoup some of what we have lost this week. But yeah, so I'm looking more up here now. Just based off of, we have a breaker here with this first presented. So that's what we were aiming for. We just got stopped out. So, because look at these highs up here, they look really clean. Hit down here first, went one time deeper, and so thought process is up there. So yeah, waiting until news. This would be the entry. Regardless, win or loss, I would have been waiting for this one. Yeah, I'd be looking at this to remain a breakaway gap. See, I look at this as a breaker. I'd want to see this remain open. So I want to see it create a breakaway gap and not trade down here, and then start to expand up higher towards these highs. That's what I'd want to see. Because for me, if it starts overlapping and doing all this stuff, then it's letting me know the PM session is better. But that's what I'd be looking for right now. After that close, I'm thinking we're gonna tap this up here, these equal highs right here. Right there. Let's do that. So that's where I think that was my initial target, what I was looking for. After we had done this and the buy side, that's what I was looking for, but just got stopped out before. I think the draw, because of the equal highs here, but also we have the new day opening gap. We have a clustering up here, so that's why I'm favoring this after looking at what happened at the news event. I'm not allowed to get back in, but that would be it after the news event. And then there. So, yeah, breaker, I'd want to see this, like I was explaining, remain open. So it's not able to trade down into this. So what I'd want to see is this not even touch this. After we hit here, it's fine. It can do whatever it wants. But in terms of this entry, I wouldn't expect it to come back down. So we were looking for this to attack up there. And at this point, I'd be expecting it to shoot up there quickly with some speed. Not like slowly inch. I expect for it to see like how we have this candle here. I'd expect this to be a support level now. We're above it. I expect this to support price, and within the next like couple candles or in the same candle, start to reach up into here. That would be the expectation. So yeah, either it comes up here, or I'll end it at like 10:15 or so, 10:20, and then I'll be on Friday. But yeah, I expect this to hold price. I don't want to see it go too low, too deep. We also have this wick here, so I'm looking at the bodies. I'm not looking at the wicks. It's okay, but would want to see us use this and attack this 1 hour fair value gap that has these 15-minute equal highs here. That's what I'd want to see. We also hit the top. Let me show you. We hit the top of the gaps. We completely close it in. There's an order block here as well. So we'd want to see this support price and trade higher. That's what I'd want to see. So I'd be looking at this candle. The support, I want to see the body stay above there. Don't necessarily want to see that. But we see this as a order block that should be used to trade higher. That's what I'd be looking for. So I'll be looking for. Again, I don't want to see this get traded to. I want to see it remain open. It's allowed to get traded to, which means that it would take out this low. But ideally, I would not want to see that. So it's a 5-minute breakaway gap. I don't want to see it get hit, but it's allowed to. And the reason why I don't want to see it get traded to, it just shows me that there's more strength in my trade. That's all it's pretty much showing me. But the bodies here aren't really, I don't like how the wicks and where the bodies are unable to even close above here. That I don't like. Just as a indication. But with this here why I want it to remain open, because it shows a little bit more strength in the trade. And so that's what we could be potentially looking for. It's pretty high resistant right now. And the reason why I'm saying that is because look at the price action. I mean, we lost here, but it's not clear one direction and clear moving. Like if we go back to Monday was very clear, very quick, and moved in a direction. This is kind of holding. You know, it's not a higher probability day. That's what that means. I mean, yes, I already lost here, but just looking at it now, it's moving sideways, right? That's not what we would ideally want to see. Now, failure to hit there is nice, which means that it didn't trade down into the gap, so it failed, which means that ideally it's strong, and we should look for it to trade up to this high up there, these equal highs here that are resting like right inside of an hourly fair value gap. That's where we would be looking. So this did remain open, which is what I wanted to see. This is a nice movement away, and don't want to see it come back down, because if it comes back down again, it's just back and forth price action, which isn't favorable. So do we reclaim this? We come back down, like again, coming up and going down. Just overlapping runs is not high probability in terms of trading trading probabilities. Like the chance of you winning your trade is a lot lower when you're seeing overlapping price action. That's what that's indicating. And what's also just concerning, just from my point, is how we're going up above this high and then we come back down, and then we're struggling to go above this high. Not something that is indicative that it can come up here, just because of how it's struggling. And look at the bodies on the 5-minute chart. It's doing a little bit more than what you would expect. So I'm gonna go to 10:30. It's 10:14 right now, so about 15 minutes, and then I'll end the stream there. Yeah, this is pretty much sideways movement, right? We had nothing one directional. We had this, but yeah, small sideways movement. This is why I don't like trading in. I mean, this one fits the criteria of 60, but this is what I expect on days that have less than 40 or 50 handles. This is the type of price action I expect. So I wasn't necessarily expecting this today. That's just what we got today. And so we've hit this. You want to see movement away, not just keep sitting here in the gap. Because ES is looking weak here too. Let me show you. Unable to close above this. We closed above this, but unable to close above this one. We had SMT here again. So from this high, there, why can't I click on this? Here and here. So down, higher. Yeah, just Yeah, just a lot of choppiness right now. Because you have the shallow like this, the wicks, the body's not able to close there, ES not able. So this is a very hard day, very hard day. Because this is trading too deep into this. This shouldn't be back down here. If it's in fact bullish, like it should not be all the way back down here. It shouldn't even run this out and go up higher. Like this is, that's not indicative of that. Yeah, too deep into that. Yeah, this is not indicative of higher prices. How shallow we're running above the high. How we had SMT again to the upside. Yeah, tough day. Because trust me, if I'm in this trade right now, this is not, I'd close it immediately. It shouldn't be back down there. I'd immediately close it. It shouldn't do that. It's too deep. Too deep with too much SMT to the top for me to feel comfortable in this trade. Even if this thing went up 1,000 points, I'd close it. It's just way too deep. And then this wick, it's too much. Yeah, you see, if I was in this trade for a long right here, I would close it. It's not doing anything that shows me that it wants to go higher, and I could care less. This is too deep. This ain't even really worth it to me like that. I mean, high resistance trading. Yes, you expect it to come back to 50%. It had already come back down to 50%. So there was no need for it to come back down to 50% again. You see what I'm saying? And even with this is something that I know I need to work on, that I keep forgetting, is if we are in high resistance conditions, you have to take your trade below 50%. I'm taking a trade above. So that's something I also don't need to work on. But look, yeah, see, along here and the way it's acting like here, it's not showing that weakness that you'd want to see. This is very hard. Like, not gonna sugarcoat anything. But I'm okay. You know, I thought that we could get up here with what we were seeing here, and this was overlapping with that. It wasn't as strong, but it's still strong. We traded down into it, respected it, traded down, but then we just completely wiped right through it. So nothing else I can do. But I appreciate you guys for staying on. I will catch you guys on Friday around 9:10. I think we have Pal speaking at 12, so that should be very interesting. Let me just check just to make sure we actually have that. I think he's speaking at 12. Yeah, so at 12:30 he speaks, so maybe we'll do an afternoon stream on Friday. We'll see what's up happening, but I appreciate everyone for being here. It was still fun, even though it didn't end up the way that we would have liked. This is still fun. You know, I'm glad I am able to do this, and you know, I know I'll come back stronger and better. You know, this is the first down week I've really had in 7 months or so. But yeah, so it is what it is. Part of the process. All I remember is what, you know, kind of what my dad had talked to me yesterday. He was talking about you know, James 1, or James 1:2. So I'm just gonna read it because I have it open actually. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all that they do." So, again, this is something that I prayed for and asked for, to be able to understand and how to read the market. And I understand that this is a part of the process. And I know that this is helping me become the trader that I know I can, where I don't take a trade and I just blow up my entire account because I've lost. That's what I used to do in the past, and that ain't getting me no more, you know? And so I understand that this is part of the process, and I'm thankful, you know, that I can learn this now when in the early stages. So again, I appreciate everyone for being here. I will see you guys on Friday, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.